Hello, hello, and welcome to another installment of Red Carpet Living with Jen. I am joined here today by a crazily unique, talented woman. Lily Allison is the branch manager of Signature Mortgage and Lending, which is an affiliate with my brokerage here in Florida. And I wanted her to come on today and talk to us a little bit about mortgages, kind of as broadly and as general as we can make it. As you know, for this month of March, we're discussing money in the five Facts Friday installment on my Facebook page. So I wanted to have an expert come on and give us a little bit more detail so that you guys who follow my podcast can get some more insights as well. So Lily, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you.
Thanks
I'm
for
so
having me.
happy. Yeah, my pleasure. I'm so happy you said yes. I've got so many questions for you. I'm just ready to go. So we're going to dive right in. Before we get into more of the technical questions, Lily, give us a little bit more about your background. What are some of the things that you've done in your current position as well as before that make you qualified as an expert?
Well, before I was in the mortgage business, I was actually in the title business. I did that for many, many years. Loved it. Real estate kind of like went belly up in the early 2000s. I stopped doing that and I came back in the mortgage industry, and I think I love it even more. So I have a lot of experience in the entire real estate industry from different angles. It's just something, it's my passion. I love it
I love it.
every day.
Yeah. And it's great too because you're seeing it now from the beginning, kind of the inception and the mortgage, and you've also seen it from like the ending with the title and all the things that they have to do to clear up a file.
Yes.
I love that. That's so exciting. Yeah. I the fact that I think real estate can take on so many different incarnations, right? You can do it in title, you
Mhm.
can do it in mortgage, you can do it in sales, you can do it in administrative. I think it really is just a testament of the strength of this industry. So I'm very happy that you have all the different angles to kind of share with us today. So give us a little bit of background of who you work for, Signature Mortgage and Lending, kind of what is it that your office provides for us?
For Signature Mortgage, and we are in Boca. The company's been around for about 30 years. And I've got to tell you, I've worked for different companies and I just love Signature. It's an awesome company. I work with wonderful people. Tony, the owner, is fantastic. He's supportive, always there to answer any questions. I love it. It's a really, really good company, and they really care about their customers, which is very important to me.
Very true, because I text Lily at all hours on the weekends, during the week, and she's always ready and available to answer my questions. So I can attest to that. Yes, you guys are so there for your customers. I do appreciate that. Now, in terms of what you guys offer financially, are you just a mortgage broker or are you a lending company as well?
We are direct lenders. We do broker out some loans. We prefer to keep them in-house, but yes, we are a direct lender.
Okay, so one of the benefits of working with you as opposed to working with a mortgage broker would be,
Well, being a direct lender, it kind of cuts out the middleman. It also provides us with having on-site processing and underwriting. So we always have access to them, as to where, with a broker, it's always a little bit harder to get in touch with either the processor or the underwriter. So we have them in-house. So it's easy for me as the LO to be able to have contact with them and discuss any issue that might come up on a file on the loan. So
okay, great.
that's a plus.
That's
That's
a
always a
huge plus,
plus.
yeah. And I have direct contact to you, so you have indirect contact to them is even better, and
Right.
it puts me at
Exactly.
such a great position with my customers. And just to clarify, LO is loan officer, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
for if anybody is first hearing about mortgages, that's what we're discussing today. And then what are some of the, I guess, well, what's programs that you offer? So you do conventional loans,
We do
FHA,
conventional
FHA,
loans, FHA. Yep. Pretty much about everything. So many, there's no way I'd have time to go over all of them, but yeah, we do asset depletion, we do USDA, we just hundreds of them actually. Too many, way too many. Pretty much help anybody.
That's great. And you help international buyers as well?
I'm sorry?
International buyers? I think I cut out there.
Yes, yes, we do international, foreign nationals, I-10 loans, which is for people who don't have a social security number. They have an I-10 number, tax ID.
Mhm.
Yes, we do.
That's
Mhm.
great. Yeah, it's multifaceted too. And the fact that you guys are direct lenders really helping us too. So if somebody were to come to you, I guess, as a first-time home buyer, what are some of the things that you would recommend for them? And also, what are some of the common objections that you hear when you request certain documentation or information?
Well, what I would suggest for a first-time home buyer is credit is very important. So if your credit cards are like maxed out or close to the maximum limit, bring it down to at least 30% of that allowed limit. Don't make any large new purchases if you want to buy, if you're planning to purchase a home soon. Do not make large purchases, no new cars, furniture, anything like that. Try to save your money so you have enough funds, excuse me, you have enough funds for your down payment and your closing costs. And as far as the objections, basically, people tend to have an issue with running their credit. They don't want their credit ran. And then they want to know if they qualify before they submit their documentation. And that's kind of hard to be able to tell whether you qualify or not if you do not provide us with your financial documentation.
Right.
We run your credit. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to specifically ask this question because I've had that kind of, with me when I tell them, well, are you working with a mortgage broker or a lender? Has somebody kind of pre-qualified you if you're going to finance your home? And they'll say, oh, well, my credit score is this and I'm fine. I'm like, well, it's not just that, it's also your debt to income. So it's back to what you were saying of
Mhm.
having that 30%. So what would be,
Yes.
I guess, the magic ratio or the magic number that if they were to just take a seat back and look at their finances, they can kind of plug it in and see if they fall under what would be good for you.
Well, I mean, there's a maximum debt to income ratio. We try to obviously keep it below that. For FHA, for example, is a 56, but you don't want to go to a 56. You want to, for FHA, try to keep it at maybe at the maximum 52%.
Mhm.
For conventional, we go up to 50, but again, you do not want to go there because there's always the chance that it might not go through. There might
Right.
be a little snag towards the end there, and you might not, after going through the whole process, not get the final approval to close. So it's best if you keep it at 42, 43
Oh, okay.
maximum. Mhm. Yes.
And I know,
So
so I think my connection might be a little unstable. I apologize if I froze. So I think this is a perfect segue too, because the next question I wanted to ask was about the differences of a conventional and an FHA. But before we get to that, you said 56 or at least staying under 50 for a conventional. And then in terms of their income, what are some of the qualifiers that you would like to see for income when you're looking at qualifying somebody for a lending package?
well, as far as the income, the rule of thumb for that is that your income must be stable,
Mm-hmm.
it must be predictable,
Mm-hmm.
and it must be likely to continue. So if you're on unemployment, unfortunately, that is not going to continue. That has sort of, for lack of better words, an expiration date. You're only going to receive that up to a certain time period. So if you're on unemployment, you cannot apply for loan because it's not considered stable, predictable, and likely to continue.
Excellent. Thank you.
So
I appreciate that. That is a great tidbit to have too. And I know that we're having a lot of that like in this economy or, rent evictions and things like that. So it's something that we can prepare the next wave of buyers that are coming out of this to get them on their best foot forward to qualify for financial help. And my next question, which I kind of previewed, conventional versus FHA. What are some of the differences, like in terms of timeline and requirements for either one of those qualifiers?
As far as the timelines, there really is no difference. The process is the same.
Mhm.
It takes about the same time. The only differences is like if you're buying a condo, there's obviously an HOA, and it might take a little bit longer for the process, the condo documents, the approval, all that might, add a couple more days. But as far as timelines and all that, it's pretty much about the same. And conventional seems they have a little bit stricter guidelines than FHA,
What are some of
but
those
they're both
guidelines?
great. They're both great
Right.
loans.
Now,
Well, for example, with conventional, your debt to income ratio is lower than FHA. With FHA, you get, a little bit more, you're allowed a little bit more debt than with conventional. So, there's a few little differences, um, but they're both wonderful. And FHA it's a great option for people who don't have a lot of income, first time home buyers. It's a good program.
right. And is there typically a down payment help or there are down payment limits with an FHA?
With an FHA, you're required a 3.5% of the sales price for your down payment. And conventional, if you're a first time home buyer, you're looking at a 3%
Oh,
down
okay.
payment of the sales price. So yeah, it's great opportunities to purchase, a new home if you've never owned before. Makes
That's
it easy.
awesome. Yeah, it does. And, and knowing what's available and knowing what types of programs, either through a mortgage broker or a lender, really just puts the buyer in a position of being, smarter and understanding how their finances will eventually affect a sale of a future home. And actually, on the heels of that question, I wanted to ask about interest rates because I know that they're extremely low right now in consideration to how they've been. And I know that sometimes it gets people excited, but then when they either go and apply themselves or specifically looking at their financial capabilities, they don't necessarily qualify for how the news is portraying the interest rate. So, what are some of the things that you guide buyers with when they're like, oh, well, the news said I can get, 3.0. Why am I not getting 3.0? What are some of the things
Well,
that you respond to that?
yeah, that's what we call bait rates. And it's not necessarily that they're lying, but it's just a marketing. It's they're just targeting people to come in and apply for a mortgage. It the rate basically when they give you those ridiculous rates, it has a lot to do with your credit score, and it normally applies for like credit scores of 800 or more, excellent credit, including a 20% down and a super low debt to income ratio in order to be able to obtain those interest rates if they're available. But yeah, basically, when you hear interest rates ridiculously low like that, it's just basically a marketing scheme. But rates are low right now.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah, they
sometimes
still are
they're
pretty low,
like
right?
1.5% and or 1.75. Yeah, we'd
So
love
do
to. We would all love those rates, but unfortunately, they're a bit unrealistic to say the least.
yeah, I'm actually curious to see how it is that they figure that out. If they do an average of all the lowest rates that they've had, or do they just find like, oh, who was the lowest application we had today? That's who we're gonna go ahead and promote that they got a, a 3 or a 2.5.
Mhm.
So that'd be interesting to find out. And in terms of some of the recent applications that you've gotten, I guess kind of looking at last year in review and then looking at this year in review, what are some trends that you've noticed with home buyers? Are you seeing more first-time home buyers? Are you seeing more refinances? What are some of the things that you can speak to based on applications?
I'm seeing a lot of first-time home buyers, and I'm also seeing a lot of people moving from New York, Chicago, north to South Florida. Can't blame them.
No, not
Can't blame
at all.
trade the snow for the sand any day, right?
Yes, yes. I
So
switched it
yeah,
6 years ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's I mean, I love the snow, but just to play in it and then come home,
Yes.
play in the sand. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing a lot of people moving to Florida from the north. Um,
Mhm.
so right now, the houses are in extremely high demand, and really the inventory is running low, I would say. So that's pretty much the trend right now. So you need to have a good lender and get pre-approved quickly, so that this way it helps you with, in the competition of competing for that offer to be accepted. So
Yes.
definitely. And I'm always available. Like you said, I'm always available even on weekends. If you're out looking at houses on the weekends, you need a quick, pre-approval, just call me. I'm always available Saturdays, Sundays, evenings. So I try to do the best I can to
Yeah.
make sure you get those offers in.
You do amazing. You do amazing. And
Thank you.
we just did a
I
closing for
try.
a close friend of mine, and it was just such a seamless process. She's like, "Are we good?" I'm like, "Yes, we're good." Like everything just went so seamlessly, and I really appreciate you for that.
Thank
And then for people who maybe are still doing their research, still really wanting to figure out what their next step is for them, what are some things that you look at, or what are some, I guess, articles, or how do you stay up to date with mortgage news, real estate news, kind of information? What are some things that you do so that we can share with our viewers?
Well, the news, I do a lot of, I read a lot of articles. I have a lot of conversations with like my circle of financial advisors. We get constant updates from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mae, different agencies that keep us updated. So yeah, I try to stay on top of everything, the latest for my business.
Yeah,
Um,
that's helpful too, because then I can direct somebody if they want more, either more information to you, or if they want to do a quick Google search. And then in terms of, since you're having a lot of first-time home buyers, does your office offer like educational opportunities or seminars, or like packets, pamphlets, kind of reading material that they can use?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We have those available for realtors as well as for buyers. We have all kinds of literature, brochures, again, for realtors or for first time home buyers. All that is available at your request.
Perfect. And you speak another language like I do.
I do. I speak Spanish,
Sí,
100%
sí.
bilingual.
Oh, me
So I'm able
encanta.
to help. Gracias.
No, gracias a ti. So, si alguien está participando que no habla inglés, se puede en español también. La mayoría de los videos que tengo en mi programa son en inglés, so así me mantengo. Pero si necesitan algo en español, Lili también le puede ayudar. Voy a poner sus datos en la cajita que queda al fondo, y así podemos comunicarnos con ella, o ustedes con ella también, si tienen alguna pregunta. Like I was just saying to our Spanish viewers, I will be including all of Lily's information in the comment box below. So if you guys have any questions that you'd like to reach out to her, or some of the materials that she was referring to, I'll have those links for you below.
Yes,
Lily,
please don't hesitate to contact me.
yes, no, and it's scary. She's really that available. So just so you
I
know,
try
it
to
is
tell them, some
absolutely
people feel so bad when they call me, and it's like, please don't feel bad. I'm here for that. I want you to call me when you need me.
And honestly, it's amazing too, because for me it's such an asset to have you just readily available. If I have any questions, or if I have any buyers who want to know something, I can immediately go to you and get that answered ASAP. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for participating.
Thank
And I look forward to having another session with you, because this was really
you.
fun and
Okay,
informative.
fantastic. Okay,
All right.
you
Thank you
guys have a
so
great
much. You
day.
guys too. All right, guys. Thank you so much
All
for
right.
stopping by today. If you haven't liked, comment, and subscribe, please be sure to do so. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Take care.